Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome officially to the channel. This is, as you know from the intro, a series where I go into odd game accessories or peripherals the developers made to get us more into the game, mentally or physically. Today, I have another odd controller that, I kid you not, says it can let you control things with the power of your mind. I know, I thought we had actually gone through all this with the Mind Link and that this was kind of done. That tech didn't work for anyone well outside of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but let's dive in again and see what they did differently in this second attempt. As we all know how the oddities usually end up. I mean, the answer's in the title after all, so stick around and let's find out what this one was all about. Okay, I know we've covered something like this in the Atari Mind Link, which I'll link the full video at the end of this one, but the short version is that the original attempt at this basically used iris sensors in a headband to read muscle movements on your forehead. This would allow you to take actions inside the game. It worked, albeit a little tenuously, but came with a rather annoying side effect. Massive headaches. No, seriously, the way the system worked, you had to force yourself to do over-the-top movements with your forehead that caused most users to have headaches even after short sessions. This, coupled with the fact that it didn't work very well, meant the device didn't go very far. Fast forward from the 1980s to the 2000s, around 2007 to be a bit more accurate, and OCZ was looking to try something like this again. Now, some of you may know this company and some of you may not. OCZ was a relatively short-lived company operating from 2002 to around 2016 as a subsidiary of Toshiba, and for the most part did computer components like power supplies, cooling products, and likely most notable, early SSD drives. On the whole, they weren't really known for computer peripherals or really any input devices at all. So it was surprising when I was doing some digging and kept running into the same device over and over again, called the Neural Impulse Activator, or NIA for short, made by none other than OCZ. Now, those of you who've been paying attention are probably thinking, what, are they using the same tech as before? And the shorter answer is yes, kind of. However, the longer answer is it's actually a much larger tapestry of inputs that are being used to control things this time around, which in theory should make it more accurate and less headache-inducing than its predecessor. So let's take a look at how this thing hooked up to your computer and the tech behind it and roughly how this thing works, shall we? Now, the general idea behind this is to effectively replace your mouse with, well, this headset. It would reportedly take EEG readings from the brain's alpha and beta waves, along with muscle movement like eyebrow and eye movement, in order to control your device. Now, what are alpha and beta waves? Well, in simplest terms, alpha waves are when you're awake and in a relaxed state, mostly when you're just existing and not having to really concentrate on anything specific. Beta waves, conversely, are when your mind is more actively focused and active, like when you're trying to work on a project or do some form of problem solving. Beta waves tend to be faster signals than alpha waves, meaning those are the ones that would most likely be more active when you're gaming. However, how did the device read all this? Well, simply it came down to these little diamonds on the headset itself. You see, the left and right ones measured more physical movement through neural fibers built into the silicon, and the center was most responsible for measuring the brainwave activity itself. All this data is then filtered into the software that reads it, that was known as the Brain Finger software, which half sounds like something out of a horror movie itself. The software, which you have to use each time you put the headset on in order to calibrate the headset, starts by measuring muscle movements and then brain waves. Once all of this is done, it would put you into a test program to get used to the system, and you guys are gonna love this. Yep, it's Pong again. I wish I was kidding. I'm not though. They literally went back to Pong to teach you how to use this thing. And I bet even Nolan Bushnell had no idea his first really big hit game was going to be this useful for this long. And in a way it makes sense, because it's all simple controls. Something to help you learn how to initially function with the system. After you do all this, you're allowed to set up certain controls, be it keyboard keys or joystick controls, and it would even allow you to make profiles for each game. However, learning to use this in practice, well, that took some time. It easily took somewhere around 5 hours reportedly to learn how to use this device properly, and the result would be, well, comical. So much so, by the descriptions, I can only see this in my head. Literally, people described it as a massive dance of focused looks, muscle movements such as jaw and eyebrow movements, in order to use the controls. All of this went through the headset into a box, and from that box into the PC via USB. Don't worry, the fibers were made out of different materials than the wiring in the box to keep you from getting shocked if anything funny happens with your PC, so you don't, electrocute yourself or something silly, or at least get a shock. However, what do you guys think of this one? Do you think this is a cool idea worth looking into? Did any of you ever try one or even know about one? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. However, for now, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If I can ask you for one more favor, please leave this video a like. And if you haven't, consider subscribing. That really does help me out. For now, though, have a great rest of your day, and until we meet again, happy gaming.